This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, Bruchim Haba, welcome everyone. Agun Erev Shabbos. So we have two shiurim prepared for today. For the upcoming week, Be'ezus Hashem, there will be a Wednesday night shiur streaming live on TorahAnytime. It will not be on Zoom, it will be streaming on TorahAnytime. A special shiur for Parshas Va'era, 8:30, Wednesday evening. I want to share with you a few Divrei Torah on Parshas Shemos. We begin Sefer Shemos. And let's begin with the Elevate Your Shabbos. Anybody wants to subscribe, you could go to our site, rabbidg.com, and you'll receive these Divrei Torah in your inbox every Erev Shabbos. So let's begin with the Rashba. An apostate, a heretic, approached the Rashba. He wanted to bring a so-called proof that there will not be a third temple, because the pasuk says in Chagai, Gadol yeh kavod habayis hazeh ha'achron min harishain. The glory of the last temple will be greater than the first. Now, obviously, this is a incomprehensible assertion, because we know the Nevi'im speak at length about the third temple, but nevertheless, this was the assertion of this heretic, because it says the second temple will be greater than the first, but it refers to the second temple as the Achron. So the Rashba says, no. The Rashba responded, Achron does not mean last, it could mean latter, the second, the last of the group. The Rashba brings a proof from the pasuk Parshas Vayishlach. It says, Vayosem es hashvachas es v'yadem rishayna, v'yasel v'yladeh achronim, v'yas Rachel v'yas Yosef achronim. So it says by Leah achronim, even though Rachel came later. The answer is, achronim is relative to the first. They're the last, but there could be last after them. And the Tosfos Yom Tov says another proof that achron does not mean last, but achron means latter, is from the pasuk in this week's Parsha. Moshe says, V'hayam lo yaminu lach. Hashem says to Moshe, if they won't believe you, v'lo yishmu l'kol ha'isa rishain, v'ha'aminu l'kol ha'isa achron. If they don't believe you for the first sign, they'll believe you for the last. The problem is, there was a third sign after that so-called last one. That to turn the Nile into blood. And yet the Torah calls a second sign Achron. So it must be the word Achron in Lashon HaKodesh does not mean necessarily last, but it could mean the latter of the group. Okay, and now we have an amazing revelation of Chassam Sofer. We know that the name Yisrael has many hidden meanings. One is that it's a Rashi Tevos for the names of all the Avos: Yaakov, Yitzchak, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Avraham, Leah. But the Chassam Sofer says there's another meaning that we learn out from this week's Parsha. Hashem says, Ra'oi ra'isi asani ami, I see the affliction of my people, Asher b'Mitzrayim, v'yas tza'akasam shamati mibnei nogsav, ki yadati esmachayvav. God says that He is aware of our plight in three ways. He sees, He hears, and He knows. Yisrael stands for Yada, Shama, Ra'a, Kael. God knows, hears, and sees our plight. God is aware of all aspects of our troubles. Okay, and I'm going to share with you some thoughts of the Ben Li Ashri on this week's Parsha, which is also available on our site. We're now into year 2. If anybody wants to be Mishtatev, we're working on compiling this into a sefer, as well as if anybody would like to participate, we have about a 3-week deadline to give in the Be'ez Hashem, the upcoming work in English on Purim. This year there's a double Adar, and B'siyat L'Shma we hope to publish a sefer in English on Purim. We have a few names in the works, like maybe the intrigue and the irony. That's a top choice. Or maybe the reversal and the redemption. Or if anybody has some good ringy names, you could let us know as well. Okay, now, says the Ben La'ashri, Vayakam, So this he learns b'derech musar. He says as follows. He says, Vayakam, when a Jew gets up in the morning, this is going to the passage, Vayakam melech chadash al Mitzrayim asher lo yada es Yosef. Vayakam, when a Jew gets up in the morning, melech, and he decides in his mind, chadash, how he could serve Hashem in a new way. Because in the night, he was lying, tired, weary, and now he gets up, chadash. Al. Well, in order to do that, Hashem will help him, Al, rise up. Mitzrayim, above all of his restraints. Asher is a lashon of Ishur. Hashem will strengthen him and be mechazik him. Lo yada, that even if until now he didn't know the secrets and the depths of the Torah, S is a remez to the Torah, Aleph to Taf. He will now know the Torah from Aleph to Taf. Yosef, he will have added Havana. So Vayakam, when you get up in the morning, Melech, and you are Nimlach, you decide in your mind, Chadash, to renew your service of Hashem, then Al Mitzrayim, God will help you rise above Mitzrayim. Asher, he will strengthen you. Lo Yada, so that if you didn't know Torah, S, now you will know from Aleph to Taf, Yosef in an added way. Now, here's an interesting one. He says this approach in what he calls a humorous fashion. Vatirena hamayaladois esolekim, they feared God. Vatechayena es hayaladim, and they gave life to the children. And vayas lohem batim. So the Ben Loshi has a novel take on this. He says the word vatechayena literally means they brought them to life, even though we typically translated it that they preserved the life of, but literally vatechayena means they gave life to. So what if the Jewish child died? They would pray that if the child died in utero, they would pray and be mavakish rachmin and bring the child back to life. And this seems to be indicated by the Medrash. Now in that case, when they brought these kids back to life and people saw that they were miracle workers, God thereby did benefit to these midwives. What was the benefit? That Vayirev ha'am, Vayirev could be read, they accepted them as rebbes, Vayas lahem batim, and they set up houses of shtiblach. And as it is known, that's a very good, it comes with good financial incentive. Basically, the Ben Lashri learns the pasuk that after they were recognized to be proven miracle workers, and they were able to set up sort of rebbe-shafts, they were able to accord themselves in a manner that it was in their financial interest because of these miracles that they were able to contribute to. Okay, now this is a very interesting observation. If we remember from Bereshis, when it says at Adam Rishon 8 from the Eitz Hadas, it says, Vatikach mi piryai, and he took from the fruit. And the Zohar HaKadosh says, it says there, Vatera, Vatikach, Vatipakachna, it keeps on saying Vav Taf, Vav Taf, Vav Taf. And the Zohar says the mem of mi perioi was dislodged from the word mi perioi. Vatikach, she took mi perioi, the mem from perioi. The mem then attached itself to vav taf, vav taf, vav taf, and it created maves. So the Zohar says you always have to be careful when you have a floating mem, because that floating mem is in danger of combining with vav taf, and when the floating mem combines with the vav taf, it creates maves. Where else do we have a floating mem? By Pinchas. It says, when Pinchas saw what Zimri and Cosby did, so what did he do? He saw the Vayar Pinchas. What did he see? He saw there was a floating mem. So Vayikach roimach biyadai. What that means is as follows. Pinchas is Gematria 208. And he took the floating mem that was brought Misa in the times of Adam Arishon, Pinchas took it and he appendaged it to his 208, and he created a roimach. So the Ben Lashri points out that in this pasuk, when Bas Paroi went down to the waters, it says Vav Taf 8 times. Vatered, Vatera, Vatishlach, Vatikha, Vatiftach, Vatireo, Vatachma, Vatoimer. Why does it say 8 times Vav Taf? He says it could be based on the Zohar HaKadosh that we mentioned, that there it says Vav Taf 4 times, and it joined with the Mem, and it became Maves from all sides. Now Moshe Rabbeinu was Adam Arishon, like the Zohar says. Yaakov from the outside, and Moshe from the inside. So Basya was Chava. That's why she was called Baska. She had no father or mother, meaning she's Chava, who is Yitzhak Kapav Shal Kadosh Baruch Hu. And she, by eating from the Eitz Hadash, she seduced Adam that he should eat, and she brought Misa to the world. So now Basya Chava is coming to be masaking that. So what does she do? So corresponding to the 4 Vav Tufs, by the act of the Eitz Hadash, she now drew 8 times Vav Taf. 8 is a remes to the Midah of Bina. And therefore, through these 8 Vav Tafs, she attempted to be masaking the attachment of the 4 Vav Tafs in the Maisa of the Eitz Hadash. Okay, Rabbi, a few ideas on Sefer Shemos. And now I want to do the Shiur on Tefillah.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.